All right, here's another video about a suspect roll of wrapped coins. Everybody saw my 54p roll that I just went through, and those coins are off to the side here. And interestingly enough, I am going to use them for representation on this in just a second. I've actually played around a little bit in between with my lighting and a little bit with my focus. So, and as you can see, I've zoomed in a little bit, and the reason why I want to show you guys something really kind of interesting. So, do your homework. Every time you attempt to buy a bank wrapped roll, research the name of the bank. And just to be clear, a bank wrapped roll is a roll of coins that is actually got a bank name on it. If it does not have a bank name on it, it is not bank wrapped. It is wrapped, possibly in an old wrapper or an old tube or whatever, but if it does not have a bank name on it, it is not bank wrapped. And the reason why I make that point is quite simply put, banks do one thing and they want to do one thing very well. They want you to know their name. If you've ever seen anything in a bank, whether it be the pens or the letterhead or anything that you get from a bank, it always has their name plastered all over everything. They want you and they want your business, so they're going to give you their name at every opportunity. That goes for anything wrapped in the way of coins. So if it does not have a bank name on it, it is not bank wrapped. Old wrapped, yes. Could be old, who knows, could be old machine wrapped. Could be crimped ends like this from that standpoint. That's fantastic. But whatever it is, if it does not have a bank name on it, I cannot beat that dead horse enough because it's important to make sure. The other important thing is to make sure you do your research. This is a roll of 1955 cents. Interesting part is I can immediately tell, as most people can, that this is a wrapper that looks pristine, perfect, brand new. It's bright white. It's really clean. The ends of the roll are crimped absolutely phenomenally. Both coins on both ends are about as shiny and bright as it gets. Well, interestingly enough, believe it or not, on this bank that is from Taos, New Mexico, Sentinel Bank of Taos, New Mexico, if you do your homework, didn't exist until March 1st of 1969, 14 years after 1955 S coins were actually minted. So first flag right there is this bank didn't actually exist in 1955, and therefore this is a fake wrapped roll of coins. Now, most people would look at it and go, ooh, that's pretty, it's a nice coin. Yeah, it might be. And this roll might be very nice and bright. It is incredibly tight wrapped, has absolutely no give to it whatsoever when it comes to squeezing it. I cannot get it to give. So these coins could be extremely bright. Notice the seam that runs diagonally around the wrapper. That obviously gives it away that it is an actual machine wrapped roll and not a individual, or I guess if you want to call it tubed roll, wrapped roll from just general over the counter stuff. In other words, like the tubes you can go buy at Hobby Lobby or Walmart or anything like that that have a much different seam to them from that standpoint. So other interesting thing about this wrapper that is interesting from my side of things is not only is it really tightly crimped here, but this seam is actually got an adhesive to it, meaning I can't actually lift up the seam of this wrapper. Almost every other roll, and I'm actually looking for one right now to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Almost every other roll of coins, this is a 55D roll right here that I have. This seam, if you look, I can actually open that seam up and move that wrapper. You can see how I can move that paper. That means it's not actually, doesn't have an adhesive to it whatsoever. Ends of the coins on this one, I can actually squeeze and pinch. It's a loose wrapped roll. It is not bank wrapped because it doesn't have a bank name on it. It's old wrapped from that standpoint. But so this is going to be a difficult roll to open. So I'm going to go ahead and actually peel this roll open. Let's take a look at the coins that are inside, if I can get into the thing. I'm going to try and open it up on the end here and see if I can pull it open. We'll see what we can find inside here. So here we go. So this is opening up an old roll. And the first thing, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, first thing I notice is these are different colors on the edges of these coins already. So my guess would be somebody stuck this roll in a wrapper a long time ago, maybe. Could just be recently, who knows. Coins look very nice. They look very bright. They're definitely very shiny. But the other thing that I'm noticing here, maybe it's just me, but I'm going to open it a little further. And if you'll notice, these coins, there's one that's flipped the other way, but almost every single one of these coins is actually heads up from that standpoint, which is very, very, very odd. So any wrapped coin or any wrapped roll is going to have no more than about 4 or 5 coins that are all facing the same direction. The most I have ever seen in an actual original bank wrapped roll of coins, and don't ask me why I counted, but for whatever the reason, one time I got on that subject. Most I've ever seen is 6, and that was only one roll. I have never seen more than 4 or 5 coins all facing one direction. And if you look as I flip these coins out, almost every single coin, there's one that's flipped the other way, is actually faced one way. So coins look nice and bright. I wouldn't call this an original wrapped roll. It may be an original, maybe a whole bunch of 55S's, but I don't think it's original by any stretch of the imagination, no matter which way you look at it. So kind of cool. See if I can back this out just a little bit from that standpoint and give you guys a little bit better view, if I can, of all of these. I'll hold a couple of them up and you can take a look at them. And then I'll move on to my next roll, which you guys are probably going to want to stay and pay attention to because it's a Batdorf wrapped roll. These are decent coins, not terrible, not super strong struck. I don't see any major things wrong with them, but not necessarily something that I would say is perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So there you go. There's a 55S roll that is not an original wrapped roll, and I'll move on to the next roll. Thanks, guys.